Hello everybody, it is Briximus Prime, taking a look at the SH Figuarts Sanji. Sanji here also goes by many names. He also goes by Blackleg Sanji, Vinsmoke Sanji, Damn Cook, Stupid Cook. And also, I will let this know from the get-go, this is the budget release, so this is missing some accessories that the full release has, and I'll be going over that throughout the video. So anyway, let's just get right on into the figure by starting with the packaging. And now taking a look here at this packaging right up front here, we've got the One Piece logo, we got the window showcasing the figure within. It says Sanji, right on Onigashima, best selection. Let's see if that's actually true. And then here's a image of Sanji. We got some more images of Sanji right here on the back and on the sides. But let's see if Sanji lives up to the SH Figuarts standard they've clearly set for themselves. And yes, it might come as a bit of a shock to you guys, but I am a fan of One Piece. Even as far as to be reading the manga, and I'm, now actually reviewing some of the figures. I've just never really talked about it because they've never really had any figures for me to review. I mostly talk about what fandoms I like through the stuff that I'm reviewing. But that being said, Sanji isn't necessarily my favorite of the Straw Hats, but that also might present the question, well then why did I even buy this figure in the first place? I didn't end up growing to like Sanji until a little bit later into the series, but that being said, he still is one of the best characters in the entire show. I mean, he's been there since the beginning, but the thing about his character is that I'm not necessarily willing to buy like a $60, $80 action figure for him, so that's why this budget release is perfect for me to buy. And also, that being said, I've only heard good things about this figure. And here are all of the accessories included with the budget release of Sanji. Some of you might say this is a bit of a downgrade, but again, this is just me personally. I'm satisfied with this amount of accessories because, like I said, I'm willing to pay more so the $30 price rather than $60, but I totally understand why some of you would rather buy the one with all the full accessories. Starting with the face plates, taking a look at Sanji's handsome face here. Again, I prefer this particular look for Sanji, the post-time skip version where he's got the mustache and goatee combo. And this expression, is pretty standard. It's the one he comes packaged with. And swapping out the face plates is pretty simple. If you guys are unfamiliar with Figma or, other anime SH Figuarts figures, pretty much you remove the front of his hair, and then you can remove the front faceplate like so.
You look like a real prince from the kingdom of lame asses.
And then you just, swap the faces around. And then Sanji also has this angry face with the cigarette there in his mouth. And yeah, this looks very good. It's very nicely printed. The teeth and the tongue are very well, painted. Everything's clean.
Mosshead!
Another thing I want to mention, I also love this fade on his hair, how it goes from the yellow plastic and then it fades with that very subtle bit of orange paint just to give it that little bit more depth. And yeah, part of me wishes I had some of the faces that were included in the full release. Honestly, I can go without them, but that one where he's smiling, I am kind of a little sour on that I do not have that one. And for the different pairs of hands, Sanji does come with a pair of fists here.
Bruh.
This pair of open hands, a grabby hand, but he doesn't actually come with anything to grab.
Except these nuts.
Sanji also comes with this really cool hand where he's got the cigarette in between his fingers. Very nice hand. It especially is paired up very well with this pocket piece. The way how this pocket piece goes on is you just got to make room with the leg. You either can remove it or you can just, adjust it while it's on that ball joint. And you just need to remove this little hip plate right here, and then you just take this hip plate and stick it in its place. Once you got that in place, you just take his arm right here without a hand in, and you stick it into that little peg right there. And with those paired up together, it looks very nice. One last accessory for Sanji, he comes with an alternate leg piece. Pretty much what you do is you remove this leg right here, and then you bring in the one that is on fire. And That is a pretty good looking accessory. I like the flame effects. A lot of the paintwork here looks pretty good. I'm pretty sure it's cast in the orange plastic and it's painted with the yellow, and then this has some purple paint on it. And I think the color matching between this and the rest of the leg looks pretty good, even though all of it is cast in the same plastic. And yeah, if none of you understand the context behind this, pretty much Sanji finds out that he's an augmented human and he's able to light his feet on fire and allows him to, fight with devastating kicks to his enemies. And also he has a moral reason as to why he only uses his feet for combat and not his hands. I love the details here on Sanji's suit. I like the white tie he's got right there with the black undershirt. And again, because he's in a suit, there aren't very many details. He's a little plain looking, but I mean, that is just Sanji. I like all the wrinkles and everything that has been sculpted in on the suit. Everything looks, very precise. I also love that they gave him those little bits of gold for his cufflinks as well as the buttons on his suit jacket. Also hidden underneath this piece, he does have a fully painted belt right there, which is kind of hard to see because of the suit coat, but it is there. And then he does have a little bit of white poking through with his collars and his wrists, and he's got the gloved hands. And again, very nice details and everything here on Sanji. And then I also love a lot of the details here on this flame leg. The main release of Sanji also came with another flame effect, but the flame's going in the other way, because then that way he can have a kick where he's using his ankle for impact. But the problem is, since I bought that budget release, it doesn't come with it. But with all the blast effects I do have, I'm sure I can make do with other flame effects that I have around. Sanji's accessories would not be this useful if he did not have such amazing posability. He's got a ball joint at the head, which allows for all kinds of range of movement, and there's a ball joint at the base of the neck, which allows for even more range of posability all over the place. The swivel at the head is a little loose for my taste, but he does have it. It does allow for head pivoting and, previously mentioned, all kinds of motion. Shoulders can rotate a full 360. They're on these little pegs that point downward and inward on these little swivel joints. So he does have a elbow swivel and an actual dedicated bicep swivel. Then he's got a ball joint inside this entire piece right here, which allows for all this butterfly joint movement, because the shoulder itself, because of the way it's sculpted, as you can see, it can't really move out that far on its own. So he really has to rely on these butterfly joints for the arms to really move out. It does look a little goofy, but if you utilize it properly, you can make it look pretty natural in a lot of great poses. Sanji's also got a double jointed elbow, which is very nice. All his wrists can rotate on this little ball joint. There's also a little peg here that allows them to move up and down, and if you rotate the peg, they can move from side to side. He's got a ball joint here at the diaphragm, which allows for an arching back, a crunch, and then, diaphragm pivot and some swiveling as well, though he does have a dedicated waist swivel as well. And again, both of these joints in tandem allow for all kinds of posability. Hips can rotate forward that far. They can rotate back about that far. He can move his leg outward that far. Very good for some of those high kick poses.
You could say I really get a kick out of this figure.
As previously mentioned, he has a ball joint here at the hip, which allows for swiveling. A single joint at the knee that bends way over 90 degrees. The ankles can move up that far. They can move down that far. He does get some fantastic ankle pivot. And then finally, he does get a toe bend right there. And then the posability on the flame foot is a little limited because of the flame effects, but he can still ankle pivot. It can hinge up and down and swivel around. And then he also has a bit of a toe bend right there. In other words, you could say the posability on this guy is absolute fire. Now, again, for comparisons here, I don't have any other One Piece figures to really compare this to. This is my first One Piece action figure. So, here's just some other anime figures that I own. My previously reviewed McFarlane Toys Deku and All Might. And then here he is with the Marvel Legends Spider-Man, who's always a good go-to 6-inch scale action figure when comparing, comparing 12-inch scale and whatever scale action figures. And then here he is compared to another pirate action figure that I took a look at a little bit ago, the Transformers Legacy United Thundertron. I also mentioned about One Piece briefly in that review as well. And yeah, that is basically it for my review on the SH Figuarts Raid on Onigashima Sanji. And yeah, like, honestly, I love the figure. He is probably one of the best, most posable action figures I have ever handled, and I think the hype behind this release is valid. It's just, again, me personally, I like getting this budget release. I understand why a lot of people would love to have the main release and to have all the accessories. It's just, again, me personally, I don't really, Sanji is not one of my favorite of the straw hats. That honor would go to Luffy and Brook, but overall, I still love this figure, and this figure even encourages me to like Sanji even more now. So it's like, I'm still happy as a One Piece fan to own this figure, and makes me excited to get more of these figures, especially Luffy and Zoro and so on and so forth. Overall, I love the posability, and again, this is my first SH Figuarts impression, so really, really good. So thankfully, my SH Figuarts impression is a good one. So if I had to give this figure a rating, I give him a very solid 9 out of 10. The only reason I'm not giving him the full 10 out of 10 is because he is just missing like maybe 1 or 2 accessories I wish they still carried over from the other figure. But like I said, that is a me problem, not a problem with the figure itself. So if you guys enjoyed this video, give me a like on the video. Comment below what you guys think. I want to know how many other people out there actually like One Piece that watch my content. Or hey, if you're new to this channel, be sure to subscribe and let me know what you thought. And yeah, I'll definitely catch you guys next time.